This is another sign of the times, an analysis and a commentary. State of the economy and climate change. The year's first half can be summed up succinctly. Unpredictable markets producing impressive gains. Investors came into 2014 with deep concerns. Following the S&P 500 index's 32% gain, including dividends, in 2013, some worried the market would run into headwinds of profit-taking. Others were convinced that the slow improvement in the U.S. economy would send bond prices lower, as investors anticipated a shift to higher interest rates by the Federal Reserve, a fear that would also weigh on stocks. Early in the year, stocks ran into problems as harsh winter weather in large parts of the country sparked concerns that the economy was weakening, but the market soon rebounded, convinced that better growth was ahead as winter turned into spring. So far, the bet has proved accurate. The U.S. economy has improved, though it isn't clear how strong the rebound will be. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has climbed 1.7% for the year. The S&P 500 is up 6.1%, and the Nasdaq Composite Index is up 5.3%. The gains have been helped by low interest rates and a dearth of alternatives for investors, rather than enthusiasm over the outlook for profits. Excess cash and liquidity are driving asset prices up across the board, and banks pay practically nothing in interest on savings accounts and CDs. In other words, there's practically no place left for investors to put their money. Perhaps it's causing the stock market to be overpriced. The bigger it gets, the bigger correction it could be, creating more bubbles. And we could burn every last drop of oil on this planet, or die trying. Billions and billions of dollars of coastal real estate could be under the sea. Crop yields could plummet. Electricity demand could soar as life becomes increasingly unbearable without air conditioning. The polar ice caps could become polar slush caps. Many people could continue to insist that global warming is a hoax, and no matter what anybody actually believes or thinks they can prove about what's causing the obvious degradation of the biosphere, humanity will continue spewing carbon into the air. The Wall Street Journal has reported that the Obama administration has opened the spigot, allowing 2 U.S. companies to export unrefined oil for the first time since the Arab oil embargo of the early 1970s. Republicans cried, "Drill, baby, drill," at their 2008 convention, but under Democrats, it's been frack, baby, frack. America is now awash in natural gas condensate, thanks to this improved, yet environmentally controversial drilling technology. This condensate oil is sometimes called drip gas or even natural gasoline. The companies producing this ultralight hydrocarbon liquid want to get a higher price for it overseas, send it somewhere where other people can burn it even faster. The last thing domestic energy producers need to produce is lower energy prices for Americans. It's now more profitable to plunder America's non-renewable energy resources and ship them abroad. In other words, anything in the pursuit of money. And about the same time that this plan came to light, a report that was sponsored by some uber-wealthy investors enumerated a litany of economic risks posed by climate change. The report was titled, "Risky Business: The Economic Risks of Climate Change in the United States." It seems, at least, some Republicans are willing to consider climate change scenarios, especially when they're in the investment business and they get a look at the mounting bills. As much as $23 billion of Florida real estate will likely be underwater by 2050. The annual cost of coastal storms along the eastern seaboard and the Gulf of Mexico will reach as much as $35 billion. Midwestern and southern states could see a 10% to 20% decrease in crop yields over the next 15 years. The Southwest will be even more consumed with wildfires than it is now. Electricity ratepayers will be shelling out an additional $12 billion a year for air conditioning. Construction activity will slow, and more people will die every year from the intensifying heat. The U.S. climate is paying the price today for business decisions made many years ago, the report said. Every year that goes by without a comprehensive public and private sector response to climate change is a year that locks in future climate events that will have a far more devastating effect. Here seems to be the comprehensive public and private sector response so far. Frack it. Again, do anything in the name of money, no matter the consequences. This too is another sign of the end of times, transition days, which is a time of extraordinary changes, events, and happenings. It's also about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations, and that should be a very important question to ask. Revelation chapter 16. And I heard a great voice out of the temple, saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. 2. And the first went, and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the humans, which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. 3. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. 4. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became as blood. 5. And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. 6. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. 7. And I heard another out of the altar say, Even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. 8. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch humans with fire. 9. And humans were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which has power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. 10. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom or nation was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. 11. And blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings and leaders of the east might be prepared. And all these are more signs of the times.